Under the chemical properties of soil, pwede na natin ding idagdag yung topic na soil organisms. Though technically, it should be on the biological properties of soil, di ba? Kasi organisms yung pinag-uusapan natin dyan. But in a way, yung soil organisms natin kasi can directly affect the nutrients that are present in the soil. So yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin for this specific lecture. We will be talking about how these soil organisms help plants absorb more nutrients dun sa lupa. And we will be categorizing our soil organisms. So ika-classify natin yung soil organisms natin into two sets. We have macroorganisms and microorganisms. So sisimulan natin yung discussion natin on macroorganisms, and then later on, after finishing that, we'll be going with microorganisms. Now, macroorganisms, anong ibig sabihin yan? Yan yung mga animals living in your soil that are visible to the naked eye. Kaya siya tinawag na macro. Whereas yung mga microorganisms naman, ito naman yung hindi nakikita ng naked eye natin. So usually they are microscopic. Makikita mo lang siya if you use a microscope to see them kasi sobrang liliit nila. Now let's talk about our macroorganisms. And here, tinawag ko sila as the architects and compost engineers. Okay? Now, remember, ulitin ko, these macroorganisms are visible to the naked eye. Nakikita natin sila. And they are soil engineers, they are soil architects, kasi they help in shaping, restructuring, and energizing the soil environment through their different biological activities. So kahit na hindi sila kasing laki ng tao, or kasing laki ng mga hayop na alaga natin katulad ng aso, baka, or pusa, they are very important because even with their small in size, yung effect nila sa soil is tremendous. Now, let's look at the different groups of macroorganisms that you can find in your soil. Siyempre, ang unang papasok sa isip niyo dyan, Sir, earthworms. And exactly. So, annelids, okay, yung mga earthworms natin, katulad ng Eisenia fetida and lumbricus, and yung ginagamit for vermicomposting are macroorganisms. Even your arthropods, insects, for example, like ants, your termites, beetles, and springtails are also important macroorganisms or macrofauna in your soil. Some myriapods, katulad ng millipedes and centipedes, are also very helpful sa soil natin. And even gastropods, katulad ng snails and slugs, are helpful especially in breaking down yung initial organic matter na napupunta doon sa lupa. And for some, we have here nematodes, although nilagyan ko ng asterisk dyan, because there are some species of nematodes that can be seen by the naked eye, and there are some species naman of nematodes, katulad ng mga napag-usapan natin sa crop protection, that are invisible or can only be seen through the use of a microscope. So ito yung mostly na macrofauna or macroorganisms na nakikita natin sa ating soil. And for the next slides, pag-uusapan natin ano ba yung mga ginagawa nila sa lupa natin that makes our soil more productive or that helps in infusing the soil with the right amount of nutrients para magamit ng halaman. So first off, ang mga macroorganisms natin are important in soil structure formation. Specifically, doon sa tinatawag nating process na bioturbation. No, ginagawa rin natin ang bioturbation in a way kapag kapag piniprepare natin yung lupa, we are cultivating it, we are howling it, no? We are harrowing it. Those are bioturbation as well. Now, for these macroorganisms, since hindi naman siya kasing laki ng tao, maliliit lang sila na nandun sa soil, they can also cultivate your soil basically from the inside out. So sa loob ng lupa, dahil galaw sila ng galaw, they build tunnels, right? They build tunnels, they burrow tunnels, they create pore spaces. Those are also a way of bioturbation ng mga macroorganisms naman natin. For instance, we have earthworms. Anong ginagawa ng earthworms? They dig through your soil. So pinupush nila yung mga soil para sila ay makamove, and then they create what? They create pores. So they create pore spaces. And yung mga pore spaces na to, ini-increase niya yung aeration and water infiltration ng lupa. They also create highways na nakakatulong din para yung ugat ng halaman ay makapag-grow and makapag-move ng maayos doon sa loob ng lupa. Ants and termites are also very important. Ganun din. They also create a network of tunnels na hindi lang nagpapa-increase ng porosity, but it is also very important in redistributing the soil particles. So kunwari, may concentrated ka na organic material dito. Kapag may mga ants ka or termites or even earthworms, kapag meron kang macroorganisms dyan at gumagalaw sila, what they can do is that they can redistribute yung iba't ibang organic matter na yan or humus into the other areas of your soil. Because they move, because they burrow, because they create tunnels, nare-redistribute ngayon yung organic material na nakikita natin sa ating lupa. Now, your macroorganisms are also very important in the decomposition process. Primarily, sila yung nag-shred, okay? So, sinishred nila yung mga large pieces of organic matter into smaller pieces. So, kapag nahulog, for example, yung stem or flower or whatever that is na organic material doon sa lupa, kapag buo yan, mahirap yan i-decompose ng mga microorganisms natin. But because we have macroorganisms who will chew this, okay, or who will eat this, this organic matter now will turn into smaller fragments. Ngayon, kapag na-chop-chop yan, mas madali na ngayon maisagawa ng microorganisms natin yung decomposition process. For instance, yung ating mga millipedes, okay, yung mga centipedes natin, they chew and break down organic debris. So if they do that, pinapaliit nila yung huge chunks of organic matter, making the process of decomposition easier for your microorganisms. So that's number 2 function of your macroorganism. I mean. Number 3, they're also important in nutrient cycling. How? Kasi habang kumakain itong macroorganisms natin na to, sila ay tumatae. So sila ay nagpupup. Okay? And yung mga poop na yan, mayaman yan sa iba't ibang klase ng nutrient din. For example, yung earthworm castings natin, yung tae ng earthworm, no? Yung kanilang excreta, yan ay nakakapagbigay ng nutrients katulad ng nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, some micronutrients, and even binibigyan niya rin ng habitat yung mga beneficial microorganisms through their poop. Okay? Tapos yung mga poop na yan, they also contain humic substances or yung mga humus natin na ini-improve din yung cation exchange capacity and water holding capacity ng ating soil. In fact, there are some studies suggesting na yung castings ng worm, yung poop ng worm contains 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than the soil itself. And in relation to excreta, siguro narinig nyo na yung concept na to, we have vermicomposting, right? So vermicomposting is one of the most practical applications of how macroorganisms can provide nutrients to your soil. So ang process na to is that this specific kind of earthworm, it's yung mga red wigglers natin or yung Eisenia fetida, yun yung scientific name. They thrive well in in areas kung saan maraming biodegradable materials. So, yung mga kitchen waste, animal manure, crop residues, yun yung ilalagay natin, tapos kakainin yun nung earthworm na yun. And then they will, through their castings, okay? So, sila ay magpupok. Ngayon, yung casting na yun, pwede nating gawing organic fertilizer para doon sa halaman. So, very, very important, di ba? In fact, ang vermicomposting is a considered PNS compliant organic fertilizer under RA 10068. Diba? So what is RA 10068? That is the Organic Agriculture Act of 2010. And isa sa mga nire-recommend nila na organic fertilizer is vermicompost. And how do you make vermicompost? Well, basically, the concept there is meron kang bin, lalagyan mo ng small portion of lupa, ilalagay mo yung mga worms mo, and then pupunuin mo sila ng biodegradable materials katulad ng mga nabanggit ko kanina like kitchen waste, animal manure, and crop residues. And then mapapansin mo habang kinakain nila yon, dumadami yung castings nila. Kukunin mo na ngayon yung casting at yun yung i-apply mo doon sa lupa para payamanin yung organic matter doon sa lupa. Next one, your macrofauna, okay, or your macroorganisms also are very important in supporting the life of microorganisms. So yan ay symbiosis and soil biodiversity support. So ang mga macrofauna, hindi lang niya tinutulungan yung halaman per se, pero tinutulungan din niya yung mga microorganisms na nasa lupa na importante sa mga halaman. For example, ang mga macroorganisms natin, katulad ng earthworm, sila ay nagkikreate ng tunnels or burrows within the soil. Ngayon, yung tunnels and burrows na kinikreate nila doon sa soil, yan ay nagiging microhabitat or nagiging tirahan ng mga beneficial microbes na nasa lupa. Hindi lang yon. Ang mga macroorganisms natin can maintain moisture and temperature na ideal para doon sa mga para doon sa mga microorganisms natin. And aside from that, they also facilitate nutrient flow through the soil food web. So sila rin ay nagpo-provide hindi lang ng nutrient for your plant, but also nutrient for the bacteria, let's say, or for the fungi, or nutrient for your microbes para magawa nila yung kanilang metabolic activity na mas lalong magpapa-enrich ng nutrients na nandun sa lupa. So it's a synergistic relationship. Ano? Yung macroorganisms mo, like your earthworms, ants, beetles, anything that can be seen by the naked eye, are also supporting the small microorganisms. Yung next point is familiar kayo, these macroorganisms, some of them can act as biological control agents. Katulad na lamang ng spiders, centipedes, and other predatory beetles. So for example, isipin nyo, meron kang peste ng itlog na hulog sa lupa. Para yung itlog na yun ay hindi mag-hatch, mayroon kang beetles, mayroon kang mga centipedes or spiders that would eat those pests. Or nahulog yung peste doon sa lupa, mayroong predator na pwedeng kumain sa kanila. So that's another use. So, yan din yung isa sa mga purpose ng macroorganisms natin. And finally, our macroorganisms are indicators of soil health, or even an indicator of the health of the environment itself. So paano mo malalaman na yung lupa or yung environment is pristine, hindi pa ganun ka polluted? Well, you've got to look for macroorganisms in the area. So ang lupa, for example, na mayaman sa organic matter has a lot of earthworms in it, a lot of termites, a lot of arthropods. Okay? Na yung population na yon of macroorganisms can make the soil, can can develop good structure within the soil. It can also help in the organic matter decomposition. And yun din ay indicator na hindi pa ganun kapolluted yung lupa. I remember one time, nag-hiking kami somewhere here in Benguet noon, and yung isang barkada ko kasi is an avid environmentalist. And habang naglalakad kami, napansin namin may mga linta na dumidikit sa aming paa. And of course, kapag bago ka, na nalinta ka, you might be worried kasi mapapansin mo, may dugo sa paa ko. Pero sabi niya sa amin, well, it's a good sign kasi yung presence ng mga linta indicates na yung area na yun ay hindi pa polluted. So kapag present and marami yung population ng mga macroorganisms nun, ibig sabihin that area is not yet polluted. So maganda pa yung lupa doon, mayaman pa sa organic matter. Whereas, paano naman kapag absent itong mga macroorganisms natin? Kapag yung macroorganisms natin is absent, it can be an indicator na yung soil natin is nagde-degrade. Okay? Mataas ang pesticide usage kasi nangangamatay sila because of that pesticide, or there are compaction issues and poor aeration. So, in the presence of macroorganisms, maganda ang quality ng lupa. In its absence, hindi maganda ang quality ng lupa. Okay? It's either polluted, hindi na maganda yung soil structure, it's already toxic kasi nga because of heavy pesticide use, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, yan yung kahalagahan ng mga macroorganisms natin. Now, dadako naman tayo sa importance ng ating mga microorganisms. So,
magti-take ka ba ng licensure exam for agriculturist this year? If yes, I believe my course is for you. Enroll now at Learning Agri with the modular course by clicking the link below. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Mag-enroll ka na. Samahan kita mag-review. Bye!